And with that, welcome to Us versus Them. For the first time this season, people, it's three-time Super Bowl champion Matt Chatham repping the Patriots and Josh Tolentino, who covers the Dolphins for The Athletic. Josh, you're batting leadoff here, my friend. Biggest story of the week, the Dolphins playing a Tom Brady-less New England team for the first time in 2 decades here. How much easier did beating the Patriots just get for Miami?
Hey, let's do it, guys. It's you know, it starts kind of with this defense here. I know a lot of the attention is on Tua and, you know, drafted 5th overall, but you know, they're going with Fitz. I think it focuses on how do we defend Cam Newton. And today I just spoke with Kyle Van Noy, a lot of New England fans familiar with Kyle, and not just him. They've got several ex-Patriots, Landon Roberts, Ted Karras, and I think one of the most telling things that we've discovered the past couple weeks was that on Monday, the entire team voted for captains. There's only 3 captains on defense. And Landon Roberts and Kyle Van Noy, who've only been here for just a few weeks, I mean, less than 2 months, definitely, you know, less than 5-6 weeks around their teammates. They were both voted as captains, and I think that says a lot going here into week 1 at New England.
Yeah, Matt, a couple questions for you. I mean, how competitive do you expect this to actually be, and why are the Patriots a touchdown favorite here?
Well, with all due respect to Josh and even myself, he doesn't have a clue, and neither do I, and that's the unfortunate position we're in because hear me out here. This is not a shot at anyone. It's just the weirdest preseason any of us have ever done in this industry because the information we have is poor. You know, no one played anyone else. It's just sort of a sort of PR and who's healthy and, you know, evaluating rosters. And that makes it a little tough on all of us, quite frankly. Why is New England a 7-point favorite? Usually they have that home field advantage, but I don't know, the stadium's going to be empty. You know, I guess Miami does have to travel and stay in a hotel in Providence or whatever. But, you know, most of those factors that would generally make them a favorite, not really there. The historicals of sort of the way, you know, Brady-led teams have done. Obviously, Tommy's not there anymore. So I don't know how you decide who is and isn't a favorite in this thing. I think in B. Flow's credit, it's a team that has an influx of talent that wasn't necessarily there last year. And even in the absence of that talent, they beat New England in a game that New England really needed late in the season. So I think this is the coin flip of all coin flips. And honestly, I'm not trying to make this necessarily a Patriots-Dolphins point. I think that's across the league. This is a weird week 1. It's a lot of anecdotal information and a matchup, especially in the New England situation with an offense that's never taken a live snap. We don't know what they're going to do. We have a general sense of who's going to be out there, but man, picking this thing, good luck.
Yeah, Josh, you're down there. You're covering Miami. You're writing about how open the AFC East is now that Tom Brady's gone. But what options do the Dolphins have when it comes to actually preparing for a mobile quarterback like Cam Newton? Because Brian Flores saying today, calling it a huge challenge.
Yeah, and it's not just not knowing what Cam Newton is going to bring. I mean, they have a lot of new faces on this team, and while they are great, I think smart additions in terms of veteran presence and mixing in, you know, a lot of rookies from the draft. You know, they have yet to, I mean, as Matt mentioned, play against any type of opposition. As candid as secretive as Flo can be, you know, he was pretty candid when he said the other day that they've got 2 rookie offensive linemen heading into New England, and they've been great in camp. But who knows what's going to happen? You know, once they line up against the big guns and the lights are on and you know, the TV is rolling, because those rookies can fold in those moments. Not all of them are able to transition easily into this primetime role, but. You know, we saw the depth chart. We've seen a lot of new faces, and you know, the Dolphins spent nearly $200 million, the most in all of NFL in free agency. A lot of different pieces. So while on paper it might look good, these first few weeks you might see some chemistry, some communication issues early on. Although, you know, Landon Roberts, Kyle Van Noy again should help ease them into that process.
Matt, Kyle Van Noy saying also today that he's looking forward to seeing if the offense, Patriots offense, that has talked ridiculous smack to him over the past 4 years when he was a member of the Patriots. He's looking forward to see if they can actually back that up now. Now, the Patriots, are you still pissed off with what happened in Week 17 last year?
I got to say that most of those guys will put that to bed, and this is one of the weird years. And, you know, Josh has mentioned how many new faces over there in Miami. New England's much the same way, man. You got a lot of young dudes, you know, 3, 4, potentially 5 guys that could be on the field for the defense that weren't on a lot for last year's crew. And to bring Kyle back into this, I think this is actually one of the cool kind of fun dynamics of this game. I experienced it myself that first year I went down there with the Jets. And you take some veteran linebacker types, and you've gone. So in my case back then, it was now I'm going to have to cover Corey Dillon and Kevin Falk, our old buddy Kev here from NESN. And normally, you know, that's a nightmare. But the beauty of it is you kind of get to know their plays a little bit. You kind of get to cheat on the routes. You kind of get to grab them and sort of know what can limit them because, you know, they're really good players. And I remember, and Kyle's going to have the very same situation. Same with the Landon. Trying to cover James out in space on these little option routes that he kills most linebackers on. Trying to deal with Rex Burkhead and sort of is this a run play, pass play, or sort of the no tendencies there. But all these guys kind of know each other, and you practice against each other all the time, but you've never really done absolute live to the ground reps against them. I just remember, you know, Corey Dillon kind of swearing in my ear saying, you know what the play was, you're cheating, or stop grabbing me, that kind of stuff. But that little dynamic on the field, James White, Sony Michel, all those backs against these veteran linebackers are now going to face them for real. I think it's going to be fun. Watch the little interactions there.
Josh, give me your best case for Miami walking away with a win here.
You know, I think it's going to be a pretty close game, a lot closer than people are predicting or think. Again, I think that Fitz is going to find some type of way to make Preston Williams, who I really do think, I know the attention is going to be on Devontae Parker, and Devontae had a great game against Gilmore last year. But Preston Williams has had a pretty nice camp, and I think he's going to surprise some people. He was a rookie last year who was leading the team in receiving beyond Devontae before he got injured, tore his ACL, I think week 9 or 10 against the Jets. But I'm thinking the New England Patriots squeeze out with a 3, 4, 5-point victory. But I do imagine it's going to be pretty close, especially just with the unfamiliarity. Things aren't going to look clean. There's going to be missed tackles, misreads by both sides. And I think that part will be interesting. It's not the preseason, and that's the important thing, that these games count. But in some sense, it's going to be the preseason because they haven't played at all. Yeah,
it kind of feels like you're saying the Patriots should not be 6.5-point favorites. I'm definitely picking up what you're putting down there. Matt, go ahead. Your best case for Patriots here, winning.
I just think we're looking at what would have been sort of like the inter-squad practices, right? This is when they go travel to play one another, and they haven't yet done that. And when you watch those team periods that often happen when you first face another opponent, usually the defense wins. It's just, I think we're going to see a lot of ugly football league-wide here. And I think this is probably going to be right along those lines. It'll be 20-14, maybe 20-13, Pats. And I just don't think either. Most of the conversation here is going to be around what these offenses might do. I think the defenses are going to have a really nice day.
All right, Matt Chatham, Josh Tolentino of The Athletic. Hell of an us versus them debut here, guys. Thank you for joining After Hours. All right, need more in-depth insight? Subscribe to The Athletic for every sports story that matters.